All right, Reed, thank you. Time now for News Talk. Our guest, Benedict from Cornell Cooperative Extension of Oneida County. January's harvest of the month, a winter squash. And hey, why not? Butternut squash and all kinds of squash. Good stuff. Brandon, so let's talk about this. Now, winter squash, there's some great facts and informational things that people need to know that, maybe you don't think of that as one of your first vegetables of the winter.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing to say is why it's called winter squash. They're not harvested in the winter. They will die if they come across frost at all. But they have a really long shelf life, really thick skin, which is why before refrigeration they would last about 3 months outside the fridge. So that's why they're called winter squash.
That's good to know. Now, they're vine-grown gourds, right?
Mm-hmm. Gourds are actually they're related to melons and cucumbers. They're actually a fruit. Anything with a seed is a fruit. You don't usually think about that. We just tend to eat them more like vegetables. But yeah, they are vine-grown gourds. What
kind of nutrition does it provide?
There's so many different types of winter squash. There's butternut, buttercup, acorn, Hubbard. But really the takeaway for all of them is they're all very low in fat. They're all low in calories. They're all pretty good source of vitamin C. And the big thing is they all have a lot of fiber in them. Fiber means plant, short for plant fiber. It's good for our heart, good for our digestive systems, and good for our weight.
Now, how about some shopping tips? How do you know when something's good?
All right. Well, for any of the winter squashes, bumps aren't really going to be a concern at all. Like if, Hubbard and acorn are both pretty bumpy. What you want to look out for is you don't want any soft spots, so maybe feel your winter squash when you're in the store. You don't want any soft spots, no bruises, no maybe like puncture wounds. Yeah, and no mold either. And you want it to feel heavy, too, for its size. You want it to feel nice and heavy.
Now, cut squash, like maybe in a plastic bag or in a fridge, how long does that last for you?
That lasts about a week if it was uncooked in the fridge.
Okay. And when you're doing roasted butternut squash, what are some of the great things that you can do with that?
All right, so you could throw some thyme and some sage, roast the squash in the oven. Then you could take that, you could eat that like it is, or you could take that and blend it with some chicken stock, and you would make yourself a soup. Not the roasted side, but I have right here a bowl of chopped up butternut squash. Put it in a microwave-safe bowl, put a damp paper towel on top, and you have yourself a really fast steam. Put it in the microwave, maybe 5 minutes. You can throw that into any dish.
And some fun facts, too. One of the oldest cultivated crops are squash, right?
Yeah, so we've found seeds from a squash from Mexico dated 10,000 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
And originally, they weren't just cultivated for their seeds, though, right?
Well, they were cultivated just for their seeds. Right. Yeah, so originally the squash we have now is much more fleshy, but originally the flesh was very thin and very bitter, so they just grew it for their seeds.
And any more information, what's the best website to go to?
It would be northcountryeatsmartny.org. A little more about squash, get some good recipes, and find out where we'll be in the local counties.
All right. Good to see you, Brandon. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
More news right after the break. Stay with us.